It's Bruins Benders post-game live, the late night edition, up all night with the Bruins Benders Podcast, and it's available right here on the Inside the Rink YouTube channel. Click subscribe to watch us all season long and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and on X. Yeah, a little TikTok too. Yeah.
What are you out there doing? Viral dances? What's happening?
Yeah, just some behind-the-scenes stuff. I haven't really shared it with you, but
Or behind the scenes with you, but not with me. That's fine.
Yeah, just a little sideshow.
Invade your private life. Get in there. Get deep.
Yeah. All tons of views. Sure. We're on X at Bruins Benders, also at Mr. Matty Barry and Benders Smitty. Bruins win it 5-3 in Colorado. They moved to 3-2 on the season. Colorado drops to 0-4, and it's just a real disappointing beginning for them. But the Bruins needed to respond after Jim Montgomery pretty much called out the top six.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the top six played better, especially the second line. I thought the second line was much better. Of course, Charlie Coyle scores a goal. Brad Marchand misses a little bit of time, but then comes back in the third. And I thought overall Trent Frederick helped that line along. And, for now, that probably has to be the second line.
I would say so. The third line now worries me.
Oh, my third line was atrocious.
Potter was fighting it tonight, and Jones and Tufte. Tufte's going to be scratched. Tufte might be released. Every time he's been in the lineup, he's taking a penalty. Took 2 tonight. Av scored on both. So he is not long for the Bruins roster, I don't think. So you'll be Bruins next game. He will be out, and I assume Morgan Geekie will probably be back in there. Sure. So we'll see how that goes in the third line. Maybe Patra, Geekie, and whomever can develop some chemistry there on line 3. But fourth line again is a story to me. I mean, Koepke scores the first goal. Great again. I tweeted it out during one of the intermissions, I believe. But the fourth line for the Bruins is the best line in the entire National Hockey League in goals for 60 minutes. By far. By far and away, the best line in the NHL. So if you touch that line, if you break up that line, Jim Montgomery, we are coming for you.
Yeah, I mean, you're a moron if you break up that line. I mean, bump them up to the third line, that's fine, and put a bunch of schmoes on the fourth line and play them 8 minutes. Terrific. But that line has to play, and it started tonight again with a goal by Cole Koepke. Another good shift down, from the circles down, making, winning battles, playing with speed, playing with aggression, playing with size, and then Koepke scores a goal on a nice little redirection in a greasy area. That's how they have to play. That's how all the lines have to play, and they've had the blueprint from day one.
They have, and the Bruins in the second period, I thought, came out and their top six started playing a little more like that fourth line. And they had sustained pressure. They had a lot of chances, and they were able to capitalize with a couple of goals on, a power play goal. And then 13 seconds later, Lindholm, finds a spot through a screen and is able to score. So, I mean, that's the way the Bruins offense needs to play if they're not as talented in the top six as other teams, and they're not. So that's the blueprint. Like you said, get to the greasy areas, get to the dirty areas, hold on to the puck down low to high, puck some bodies to the net, crash, bang, rebounds in. And,
a large portion of the first and half of the second, the Bruins really dominated. I mean, the Avalanche didn't have many shots on net, even when they had sustained pressure. Bruins were getting in the shooting lanes. Avalanche were turning down shots. Girard had a shot in front where he tried to pass it. Makar had a shot later on in front. We tried to pass it. And when you're not going well, you try to be too perfect. And I think that's what Colorado's doing. And it was advantageous for the Bruins. After the Avalanche tie it at 1, it was nice to see Charlie Coyle score a goal. And, that, sort of lent to the second line playing better. Charlie was more noticeable. He was possessing the puck more than he had been in the first 4 games, which were not good for him. And this was a really good bounce back. And I wonder if Joe Coyle is one of the guys who takes Montgomery's comments personally, because I think, he's a large part of what those comments are directed to.
Yeah, I think he did probably take them personally, and good on him. For looking in the mirror and saying, I need to be better. I haven't been good enough. And he was better tonight, certainly. And Marchand was, and the first line I thought generated some more chances. Pavel Zacha had 3 amazing chances. Probably,
and I think he missed the net on all of them, to be honest.
Probably should have had a hat trick. I mean, Pasta feeds him for the breakaway. I think Georgiev might have got a piece of that one. Then they set him up for a wide open net on the power play on a one-timer. He misses the net by 2 feet, short side. And then Avalanche turned the puck over down low, and he basically can walk to the front of the net, and Manson gets a stick in there, and he doesn't even get a shot off. But, I mean, Jesus, he's a little snake bit right now. But, hopefully if he continues to get those kind of looks, he'll start putting some of those in.
Now, going over to the negative side, the Bruins did take some penalties, as you mentioned, with Tufte, and the Avalanche scored all of their goals on the power play, 3 power play goals. And I'll tell you, in the beginning of the game, it was much like the first game of the season for Korpisalo, where he made a few saves early and a couple of really nice ones. And then as soon as one went in, it changed his whole demeanor again. And I know he's a backup goalie, but I didn't love the way he played, and I thought he could have had a couple of those goals back. I don't love the way he goes side to side. He just doesn't go side to side fully, or doesn't have the sense of urgency, doesn't anticipate it. The Makar goal, I know that's a seed or whatever, but there was so much net. It was incredible. It's like he hit the middle of the net with that shot, and it just looked like he never, Korpisalo never got to his angle. And then on the last goal, same sort of thing. Like, he just didn't get all the way over. That's a telegraph kind of pass. I mean, he should be able to get over and have more of an angle to that shot. And I don't love his side to side lateral movements.
Yeah, I don't think he tracks the puck very well. I really don't.
I don't
think he has great anticipation either.
No.
Reading the play, he's not great at either one of those. And I think, honestly, he gets a little slide happy. He's like,
he does. He gets on his knees. Yeah,
he's out of the net. He's out of the crease even sometimes when he's sliding side to side. So, he either overdoes it or underdoes it, and then doesn't get all the way over for a shot that even on the broadcast, which I thought was slanted towards the Avalanche. It seemed.
Oh my goodness.
But, Eddie Olchuk was saying that he thought Korpisalo probably should have had that, and I think Boucher, echoed those sentiments as a former goalie. He said it's a pretty easy read for a goalie, and a save you probably want to have. So, the Bruins, I don't think have really solidified that backup goalie spot. No. I think if Bussy or DiPietro, either one of them plays real well here in a little stretch coming up, you might see, Korpisalo, if he continues, I think he was in the 700. Was he 700 tonight? 700?
Yeah. I mean, they only had they had 17
Oh, no, he ended
shots,
up
18 shots.
He ended up with an 880 because they ended up with 25 shots.
Yeah.
At one point, he was 745, I think.
Yeah.
They had like 2 goals on 8 shots. Something.
Right, they did.
So if he continues to struggle, I think you could see one of those Providence goalies getting a call up.
Yeah, I think so too, and that's something to keep an eye on. But again, as I've said before, like a game like tonight, even if you're playing 25 games, they could still survive with it. They won tonight, with him kind of not playing great. So they can do it. They're defensively, their expected goals against, they're 4th worst in the league, and that should not be Bruins hockey. I mean, that should be their strength, is to block shots, not allow a lot of shots on net, not allow a lot of high danger chances. That's what the bread and butter's been for years. So for them to be that far down the list is just unacceptable for this defensive group.
Yeah, it's not a recipe for winning hockey, that's for sure. So if they keep this up, that doesn't bode well for the rest of the year. So,
no, it doesn't.
They're not going to be able to score this many goals. I don't think. Maybe they will, but I hope they do.
Yeah.
But it's unlikely the Bruins are going to be scoring, 4.5, 5 goals a game, and being able to survive giving up, 3 every night. It just that's not the way they need to play. I think the strength of their team should be defense and goaltending, and right now defense is not a strength.
No, it's not. And they played 3. They've beaten 3 of the lesser defensive teams. And I mean, the Kings gave up 6 tonight. They gave up 8 the other night. The Canadians aren't very good. They're last, I think, in expected goals. And then Colorado's a dumpster fire. They've given up 26 goals, 25 goals, whatever it is, in 4 games.
Yeah.
So, those are so that can be a little skewed. So when they play really good teams and good defensive teams, they'll probably have a lot harder time, scoring. So they're going to have to win 2-1. They're going to have to win, 3-2. So can they do that? They could probably do it with Swayman, but they need to have better defensive effort all the way through. I thought Lowry was better tonight after kind of a stinker. And then, he had that really great pass for the goal. And then from Coyle.
Yes.
And Lindholm had that really nice pass, and then 13 seconds later scored. You like to see that from Lindholm. He's had 1 bad game, but I think the other 4 have been pretty good from him. So that's good to see. But I thought the tide changed when Steinberg got in that fight with Zadorov, and it sort of lifted the team. They scored right after. And then that kind of changed the whole ebb and flow. And then you were taking on water there a bit. Korpisalo made a great save along the ice where McAvoy probably put his hand on it or whatever, but they kept it out of the net. And, so that was a tide changing kind of play when Steinberg got in that fight. And, it's one of those things, and ebbs and flows. Colorado's desperate, and the Bruins were able to, just sort of stave off the rally.
Yeah, I mean, Colorado is desperate. They're 0-3. I think they were saying on the broadcast it's the first time they've been 0-3 to start a season since 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
So quite a while. They're a good team. I mean, they have really good players, really good offensive talent, and it shows on the power play. And they're missing some guys, obviously. Missing Taves from the back end is a huge loss for them.
Yeah.
Obviously Landeskog's still out, and
Nichushkin and
with the personal, in the
Lehkonen. I mean, they're missing top 6 forwards.
Yeah. So, I mean, a good win for the Bruins, but still plenty of opportunity to do some work and clean some things up here as they move forward.
All right, as we look into the box score, John Beecher, a goal, a +3. He's now, I think, a +9 or something on the year. He's just like he's playing out of his mind. He's had 5 excellent games. +6.
+6, yeah.
And he's just been terrific. And
no, you're right. +9 because
he's +9. He added the 3. +9.
Yep.
So Beecher and Kastelik, have been terrific. He was a +3. Kastelik. And Kepke. So that fourth line was all +3 again. And Kepke had 4 shots on net, had 7 hits. And if you look at the box score, Beecher played 13-20, Kastelik played 16-21, and Kepke played 13-57. So they're like the third line now, folks.
Yeah, they are, because that third line got Tufte got 654. So after he committed the second penalty, didn't see the ice ever again.
They had 9 shifts. Yeah.
Didn't see the ice ever again.
Right.
And Max Jones, 922, Patra 823. So I mean, I thought Patra was fighting it tonight. After a really good game a few games ago. I think the last 2 have been, average to below average probably tonight. And Jones, there was one flash where he took the puck to the net and did a little something, but again, not really noticing him. Not the fast physical hitting guy I was expecting to see. And maybe that's because he missed a lot of training camp and he was injured and still kind of getting up to speed, but I need more from him, or he's got to watch games. I mean,
yeah.
You're not getting enough there.
Well, at this point, I just don't think, I don't know if Jones and Tufte are NHL players. I just don't, full time. Maybe a spot here or there. I just don't think that's true. I think your fourth line is set. I think your third line in a perfect world should be Frederick, Geeky, Coyle, like I've said. That line worked well last year, and that should be the third line, in my opinion. And your second line needs a makeover. You need to figure out whoever plays with Marchand. The two guys that play with Marchand, you need to figure that out.
You do.
Because you're a much better team if your third line is Frederick, Geeky, Coyle, and your fourth line is what it is now. And that's it. So you need a better second line, period. End of story.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Sorry, I'm dying over here. I've got some kind of a cough or cold or something.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, trying to fight it off. Might have to.
You're a hockey player.
Yeah. I mean, toughing it out.
Yeah.
But 100% though. I agree. I think the second line, needs to be better, and the fact that Coyle scored tonight is a step in the right direction.
Sure.
Still not seeing a ton from Marchand, and it seems like he missed a bunch of time in the second, and about 8 minutes in the third. So he still seems like he's fighting something. I don't know if he tried to come back too early from all these surgeries. It's a possibility if he's having lingering effects from something there. Mm-hmm. But he just doesn't seem himself. He's not dangerous. He doesn't have the speed and the burst. Maybe he's just
maybe he's 36.
Yeah, I was just gonna say maybe old age is just catching up to him. Right. I mean, that's a possibility. And, it's sad to say. But, they were expecting, pretty big things from him this year. So he needs to, to produce a little bit more here, or they're, you don't really want the Bruins to be a one-line team, and the one line is the fourth line. I mean,
that's just not
what you're looking for at all. Yeah. So you need to figure some things out here pretty quick, or there's going to be some moves that have to be made at the deadline.
Well, I'm going to be Captain Positive on it and just think that Marchand talked about it pregame. He didn't start working out at all until mid-August. So that's that's a big thing. And when you're 36, shit just doesn't get going as quick as it used to.
Yeah.
So
tell me about it.
So that's one. Yeah. And then the other thing is that he is 36 and something to keep an eye on. So I'm going to say he'll get better as time goes on, but it's something to keep an eye on as they look to extend him next season. How much does this linger, and is this really him just kind of starting to hit a wall?
Yeah, you wonder. You do. You wonder if it's lingering effects of stuff, or if he's just old age is catching up with him. He's played a lot of hockey. Yes. He's not a big guy. Nope. He's in the mix, in the middle of it all. He's battling. He's taking cross checks. He's giving cross checks. I mean, he
plays hard all the time.
Yeah, he plays hard. He's consistently works hard. So, for a guy of that size to that's a lot of mileage on a not so big body. And, that's his game. So if he can't play that game, if he can't win pucks and possess pucks and use his speed and shot, then, he's kind of diminished. So you have to hope that it's just, fighting through some stuff here early and trying to get back up to speed. But trying to get back up to speed during the rigors of an NHL season is not exactly the best way to do that.
No.
You would hope maybe when the NHL takes a little break for this Four Nations tournament, I think he'll probably get called for Team Canada. It would be cool if he said, really appreciate the honor, but no thanks. I need to rest and recover. I mean, it'll never happen because
he's going to 100% play.
Oh yeah, he's all the guys that missed the Olympics are going to want in if they're asked. So it will be a great tournament, and it will be fun to see him out there. But at the same time, as selfishly as a Bruins fan, I'd like to see him turn that down and recover and rest and see if he can get a little stronger and stuff for the stretch drive.
Well, he'll want to play with Sid one last time and all that stuff. So,
sure.
So the Matt Poitras thing, as I rip him a little because he wasn't very good at all tonight. Again, the Bruins are kind of setting him up for failure, aren't they? I mean, they're giving him Max Jones and Riley Tufte on his wings. Like, Matt Poitras is not going to be as effective playing with those two, hammerheads. He just isn't. So, that's kind of putting him in a tough spot. I'd rather see him, up with Coyle. Put Coyle on the wing, or put him on the wing with Coyle and Marchand or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather him there than putting him down with two guys who just can't do much of anything. And then he's fighting it and they don't make any plays. And it's just you're not going to get the best out of him with that.
No, that's the spot to me for Poitras is second line right wing. Mm-hmm. And I know he's a center and you want him to be a center, but I think playing with a couple of other guys who are creative and pretty responsible defensively, Poitras himself is pretty responsible defensively. So I don't think, he's a liability out there.
No, he is. Yeah.
But, playing him on the third line with a bunch of guys who, are going to get benched isn't setting up for success. But he was out there on power play too tonight, and he was fighting it. The thing was he just lacking the decision making, just holding on to it too long, or couldn't decide where to go with it, and it just wasn't a good game for him, and that happens. But I would like to see him get a chance with some guys that have some offensive talent.
Yeah, I think basically the team is, a forward or two short right now. And it's top six, which is not a good deal, not a good thing. So we'll see what happens there. 38-24 faceoffs for Boston. So that's a good sign. They won 38 faceoffs tonight, a lot of them in the offensive zone. And that created a lot of the opportunities that they had and put the pressure on the Avalanche. And a goaltender that's been struggling. And in the beginning, he played pretty well. And you thought, oh, here's the night where he stands on his head. And then once they scored, then things started to. But the goals that they had were all cross crease, like kind of tap in deflections. Like they had three of them, like right by the net. And I'll say this about the Avalanche: they don't win many battles. Like, they seem like the Bruins won every friggin' battle tonight. Now, I know Montgomery was on him about battles, so that's probably an extra incentive for them, and that's a focus for them. But the Avalanche seem to lose every 50-50 battle.
Yeah, I would agree. I thought the one guy out there for Colorado that had a really good game was Ross Colton.
Colton was excellent. Yeah.
He was everywhere. He was probably the one guy on the team that was actually winning some battles. Scored a goal. Had some big hits. I thought he was really good. But other than that, at 5-on-5, like, not much.
No.
Except maybe for a little bit there in the second, and then when they were pushing late in the third, but not much from your big players, except on the power play.
I'll tell you, if they can't get the ship righted, you might start hearing the Miles Wood stuff again to Boston. Like, if they could have him as someone that they pick up. I mean, you saw his speed on that first play in the first period where he blew by everybody and Korpisalo made the save, but man alive, that was explosive skating. And, so that's something that could be on the Bruins radar again. His name seems to always be in the thick of the Bruins.
Well, I mean, he's a Massachusetts kid, so of course his name's in they love and he always plays well against Boston. Always plays well against Boston.
He does.
And he does have explosive speed. And can take the puck to the net. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind if, the Avs struggle, throw him on the third line, with he's got some offensive talent and speed to And the Bruins could use another, big guy with some speed. And
yeah, I mean, they do miss DeBrusk in that fashion. Sure. I think, they do. And they haven't replaced DeBrusk. And I know DeBrusk had his issues and so forth, but he's still better than what they have.
Yeah, I mean, they basically traded DeBrusk for Lindholm, essentially, right. I suppose. Right. So, I suppose. You traded DeBrusk for a center, and Lindholm's been good. But they really needed to keep DeBrusk and get Lindholm. They didn't get it right. It shouldn't have been a swap. They needed to keep them both. Now, clearly, they don't have the money to do that. Mm-hmm. But like we said, they're down a forward, basically. Mm-hmm. And probably two, like you said, in the top, 9. Yeah. So, they have some holes to fill here going forward.
All right. Fan comments. Cab says Bruins crashing the net first 2 periods. Third period, they just kind of tried to hold on to the lead. Avalanche were desperate for a win. It was a great road win for the Bruins. It's always a good road win against a quality team like Colorado. They're still quality. They're still talented. Mm-hmm. It's still a hard place to play with the altitude. It's still a good win to win in Colorado, especially when you lost to Florida. You need a win. They need a win. So you had a lot going against you, and you were able to win that game. So a win is a win is a win. Of course, the third period I thought was a product of, maybe not having Marchand for a bit late in the second into the third, and also, the fight that kind of changed the momentum, and the Avalanche looking to make a push, trying to tie the game, and it's just kind of how hockey is. And the Bruins did a good job, I thought, of keeping most shots. Either blocking most shots or staying in shooting lanes and staying fairly disciplined defensively, and not giving, Colorado that last, really good opportunity to tie the game.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably the case. And the Bruins at 5-on-5 were pretty sound overall defensively. It was just, power play and penalty kill that, they're going to need to work on that, because the penalty kill hasn't been good to start the season.
No, it has not.
And Florida's got them, and obviously Colorado tonight with 3 power play goals. I mean, so they have some work to do there, and I don't know if that's new guys not really knowing, or if it's a combination of just not being all on the same page at the same time, like passing guys off that cut through the structure and so forth. So, there's some things they certainly need to clean up there, and I think they will. They're too good defensively and have too many good defensive players, and Swayman will help there too, as a penalty killer, So I think they'll probably get it straightened out, but it's a problem right now, and they took a lot of minor penalties last year too. I didn't think they were particularly disciplined last year, and this year, Riley Tufte just sealing his fate here, taking penalty after penalty every time he steps on the ice.
I mean, I don't know if they'll ever replace Derek Forboard on there. So,
all right. So on that note, we got to do this whole. We promised the people the last time. Benders late night. Benders are gonna do a shot for every goal that the Bruins gave up tonight. So let's get this out of the way.
All right. So three goals. All right. Yeah. I've got some espresso martini liqueur.
I got the rest of my bourbon here that I'm gonna I'm just gonna,
because I figured I'd be up the rest of the night anyway.
Yeah, might as well. All right. So here we go. 1.
Oh, Jesus.
Woo. 2.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Okay.
And 3.
Pejman says there was also a handful of Colorado shots that missed the net, in that Korpisalo was very small in between the pipes and often out of position. And that's something that I've seen too, like just kind of small and just not cutting down the angles, not being aggressive to the angles, not anticipating, like you said. And that's certainly an issue. And your best penalty killer a lot of times is your goaltender. And when he's not, then you're going to give up some goals.
Yeah, and as you said, and as Eddie Olczyk said on the broadcast, probably wanted at least one of those power play goals back, and maybe 2 of them. I would say smaller net on the Makar goal, like you said, ton of net there, and then on the Rantanen play, probably needs to get over. I didn't think that was any kind of like a no doubter rocket, top corner or anything like that.
No.
Like it was
too easy.
There was one that he probably should have had. So yeah, you need better play from your goaltender, certainly on some of those plays. But there was also the first goal, the Colton goal, was a little give and go, and Lindholm was kind of chasing into the corner a little bit, where he probably should have stayed more in the slot to defend that pass, and the pass goes right by him, and Colton scores. So there's little things there, here and there, where the Bruins probably can clean some of that stuff up.
Yeah, Shaz Diet says, glad we won, but woof. Some of the people in the Discord group that he is in were jumping all over about this win. It's a good win. I mean, road wins are good. Colorado win is good. You can't give up 3 power play goals and expect to win every time. That's an excellent observation. I mean, you can't be at, just giving up all sorts of. First of all, you can't be taking so much. Tufte took 2 offensive zone penalties.
Awful.
Which are just terrible. And the second one was after the play, got frustrated. It's always the guy who retaliates. He got it. Like, you have to be. That's exactly what Jim Montgomery's talking about. So if they don't fire him to the sun, and make an example of him, then there's something wrong. There is.
The thing about it was, up until that point, that was probably his best shift as a Bruin. He's holding the puck down low against Rantanen, fighting him off, possessing the puck, doing all the right things. Then he gets popped and loses the puck. Rantanen takes it away, and then he gives him a slash or a chop and takes a penalty. Just stupid. Just fucking stupid. Sorry, John.
Yeah, it is. And I'll tell you, Rantanen and McKinnon are not teaching at the Guy Carbonneau School of Defense. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah.
You can see a lot of the issues with them. Pejman says we need to stop calling them the fourth line, meaning Koepke and Kastelik and Beecher. They need to be the first line right now, and that's probably true. But you can't. If that's the case, then you might as well mail in the season.
No, he's saying they are the first. They are the first line right now.
Yeah, they are. But if they are, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're in trouble. You're in big trouble.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And I know it's late in the show here, but we need to come up for a name for the fourth line. So,
yes.
If
we're going to start a viral trend.
Yeah. If you guys want to come up with a name for the fourth line, throw it in the comments. We'll read out some of the best ones, and we'll hopefully we can come up with a name here that can stick, and we'll use it for the rest of the season. Yeah.
We'll bang it on X2 tomorrow, and we'll just see if we can find enough entries. Dan from Australia says Patra with Marchand, that would be great. I think so. I think so. And I think Patra is probably the type of talent that needs to play with good players. I think guys who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think if Marchand just embraces it, I think that give it a go for a bit and see. Just take a look. And I'm telling you, maybe it's Patra, Johnson, Marchand, and then it's Coyle, Geeky, Frederick. I mean, put them down there where they'll be more effective. There'll be a bad matchup. And then Dan says at least the bourbon might help Smitty's flu. Yes, you can avoid pneumonia.
Cleared out the sinuses, Dan. I'll tell you that.
Woo. Yeah, my grandfather used to do that with a whiskey. Screw the cough syrup.
Yeah,
just
that's a much better way to go than cough syrup. Cough syrup sucks.
And Mary Lee's a trooper at 1 a.m. 1:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Always good to see her here. So now, okay, so 3 stars for the Bruins tonight.
3 stars for the Bruins. Can we give it to the entire fourth line? Yeah, third line.
The fourth line, sure.
Yeah. Star number 3 is Riley Tufte. Star number
you're right.
Is
no Eddie Olczyk. Yeah.
Star number 3 will give to Mark Kastelik. Star number 2 will give to Cole Koepke. Star number 1 will give to Johnny Beecher tonight.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a great
And we'll go star number 4, Hampus Lindholm, because I thought he was really good.
I thought Hampus has been, other than that last game after I talked him up, now he'll shit himself again against Utah. But this is the type of Hampus Lindholm we need for sure, and I think this is where Zadorov is helping him.
And you know what else I'll say too? I thought Brandon Carlo tonight was much better.
Yeah, tons of block. He had a couple. He had one block shot with the stick. Did you see that where he took the stick out and that was a big time block.
Big time block. He was a little more nasty in front. He got into it there with Kovalenko, a little cross check in the stomach.
Yeah.
I thought he was much better. He wasn't just blindly throwing the puck around. So, now that we're getting into the season and they're playing, every day, every other day, I think Carlo's starting to find his rhythm there a little bit, and they need that from him because, he's one of the pillars back there on defense.
Yeah, and his AC Knight says, though, Mason Lohrei is the future of the Bruins D. And I'll tell you what, that pass to Coyle put him on the friggin' number 1 power play.
Well, he's on the number 2 power play with him and
put him on it.
Him and Lindholm both together out there. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to rip on him, but I'm just so tired of, I don't know. Put your best offensive defenseman on the friggin' power play 1. I don't know. Just give it a chance.
Mason Lohrei, since the scratch, 4 points.
Yeah. And he was, if you saw him in the post game after the Florida game, he was not happy. Like he was talking to him, and he seemed frustrated when he was talking on the press conference or the post game in the locker room. So
love that.
I love that. Yeah, I love it. And he's a young guy, and he still was pissed off about it. And he learned from a bad outing he had where he was a -3 and didn't look very good at all. And I do want the video, Connor, for sure. Here is the video of Mason Lohrei pissed off.
I think we've talked about it in here, just being hard to play against, in between the whistles, and then let them take the dumb penalties. So I think we gotta live by that one a little more.
When you look at the power play and kind of how it struggled a little bit, where are there any areas you think that you guys are lacking in, or anything you need to work on going forward?
It's the beginning of the year. That being said, we do these guys moving around really well, and try and get pucks to the net. They're out there and they work on their penalty kill every day. So it's gonna come. We got trust in that. Obviously, we've a lot of really good players in here that are gonna make it happen. So
yeah. So I mean, he was just a little irked, and that's good.
I love it.
Love it to death.
And I hope that he is the future of the Bruins D, because they certainly could use a young stud back there that's gonna be a power play quarterback for a long time. And
the next great Bruin defenseman.
Yeah, I mean, hell, yes. Yeah. Give me all of that shit. I'll take it.
Yeah, give it to me as well. All right. So next game, Saturday night at 9 p.m., a little earlier for us. Night owls, a little earlier Saturday night.
Yeah, but Utah. Saturday night's all right for fighting. Let's get after it.
We're gonna get after Saturday night. Yeah.
Hey, that's what else Saturday night is. 1 week from the following Saturday when we're down at Lops Brewing for the Bruins Benders live.
Yeah,
down at Lops Brewing. We got
a live podcast,
5 o'clock podcast, 7 o'clock watch party, Bruins Leafs, and a little Halloween party on top of it all.
Yeah.
Still haven't found my costume.
I might go as Riley Tufte and be invisible. Invisible Man. Because hopefully that is him moving forward. Utah on set will be post-game live Saturday night, because this is what we do.
I'm going to go as Riley Tufte. I'm going to be a grocery stick.
Yeah, no doubt. Dan's going back to work, and we're going to sign off. So thanks, everybody, for listening. And as always, go Bruins.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.